Hi, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of our brand new podcast series here at SFSC. I'm your host, Carly Okwali, and I'm excited you're joining us, whether you're faculty, staff, student, or part of our amazing community. Today, we're recording right here in the brand new Center for Innovative Teaching, or CIT, as you'll hear us call it. And we have this amazing new studio set up, and we hope this space becomes a place where even more people from across campus come in, get creative, and share their stories too. And today, to help us kick things off, I am thrilled to be joined by our president, Fred Hawkins. Thank you for joining me. I know you've been super excited to get into the studio and get working on this project.
Good morning, and I am super excited, Carly. Thank you for having me and allow me to be the first guest here.
And we thought, what better way to launch this series than during Teacher Appreciation Week and Graduation Week? Really, it's the perfect time to celebrate the heart of our college, our faculty, and our students. So before we dive into some stories, I wanted to open it up to you, President Hawkins. When you think of the heartbeat of the college, it's hard not to think of faculty. And how would you describe the spirit of teaching here at SFSC?
Well, first of all, I think our faculty are stellar, but it's so much more than that. It's everybody that works here plays such a vital part in making this institution one of the top in the states. I know there's 28 colleges, but I think we're number one when it comes to starting with our beautiful campus to our faculty and the connections they make with our students right through the graduation. But it's those personal stories that I love to hear about, and especially when I meet with the students. You can see their excitement. We only have them for possibly 2 years most of the time, but to make that connection and know we're launching their careers is a good way to put your head down at night knowing that you played a part in that.
Yes, it really is. You know, when we talk about the impact that our faculty have on the lives of their students, it makes me think of an instructor who has really been a big part of my life. While she was never my instructor, she is a professor of English that I built a working relationship with and then a friendship. What really inspires me about her and ties back to my own career as an instructional designer and partner for faculty is the difference she makes in the lives of her students. She instills a passion in her students to not only learn the content, but to be a positive influence on the community around her. You know, she doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk. Through her community-based learning course, she brings her students out into the community with her and shows them how to learn from the world around them. She's said to me on many occasions that the teaching is the easy and fun part, but the technology is not. And that is where our relationship is so valuable to her and allows her to do her job to the best of her ability by receiving that support. And actually, just the other day, she sent me a picture of a painting that a student painted for her. It is a beautiful painting of two hands holding and embracing a human heart. The student said she made it for her because she taught them about community, and this was to represent that this professor, through her actions, is the heart of the community. I think we both shed a few tears over text, and I let her know that it is true, and I feel the very same way about her. You know, this instructor who also teaches developmental courses has most of these students throughout their time at the college because they continually sign up for all of her courses as they move through their college journey. And I feel that is because she instills such a deep personal belief in them, you know, that they can do all things they put their mind to, really. They can make a big difference even through small acts, and to keep that belief alive. Teachers often shape our lives in ways we don't fully see until later. How about you, President Hawkins? Was there a teacher or professor who left a big mark on you or helped you inspire a big move in your life?
I had plenty of mentors growing up, but coaches when you played sports. But one teacher in particular came to me at a time in my life that was pretty tough growing up. My parents were getting divorced when I was in my early years of elementary, and I had a teacher that realized it and knew that I was hurting as a person also at a very young age. Probably saw some things with I wasn't as focused and everything, and she pulled me aside and just would talk to me. Had me come sit with her at lunch and talk to her about things. Same time, my father's dad passed away, my grandfather, and she helped me through that time. I was close to him, but she really saw things in me and instilled how to be not only a better student but better person, but taught me how to think and reason at a very young age. When your parents divorce, I tend to think a lot of kids grow up fast, and I had to grow up fast. Ended up going to school, 5 states away from my family, and that was a little difficult. Staying with relatives and eventually having my own place in high school, but it was a time that I would go back and see her, even though she wasn't my teacher anymore, to let her know how I was doing and visit with her. And she since passed away a couple of years ago, but every time I think about it and somebody asks me about a teacher, Linda Myrana was an amazing instructor, but just a person that made that connection with a student that really needed it at the time.
The investment that they make not only in our education, but us as people is really, truly special. And speaking of believing in yourself, we are just days away from one of the biggest celebrations of the year, spring graduation. It's such a powerful moment, students walking across the stage, every one of them with their own story, their own personal journey, and their realized dreams. What's it like for you, President Hawkins, to watch students walk the stage knowing the impact this moment has on their lives and their families?
I think this one means a lot more to me because I've been here almost 2 years, and we started these pizza with the president or coffee and donuts with the president. So I've got to know some of them. I see them walking around campus, so I've made that connection. And now to see them, come across the stage or to be at one of our sporting events and see them on the athletic field, knowing that they're taking the time to invest in our athletics, but also our students. And let me just say, our coaches have done an amazing job with the GPAs of our student athletes. So they're making their connection there also. But graduation for me, it's a rite of passage for them. And everybody that sits on that stage, our faculty and our leader team, we sit up there knowing their stories because we've done it. We've been there. The late nights, the working a part-time job, coming up with gas money to get to school or get to work, having to put off family events sometimes because you have a test the next day, or you just have too much study, or you have to go to that job because you had to change your schedule around. To me, it's just amazing because you see the relief in them knowing they have accomplished something. And I feel that for everybody, all those students have a story that come across that stage, but it's a story that a lot of us have experienced. So I think we take pride in knowing we've seen their struggles because we've been there. So it's just an amazing day. I look forward to it every year. And 2 ceremonies in the spring allows us more time to see all the students than to in the fall or the December graduation when everybody's in one ceremony. So really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great day. Wow, it's a lot of ceremonial things that we should do to honor them. We've tried to make it a little more fun. So and that's just part of, I guess, my personality with the students. I want them to enjoy it and remember it. Moving the time up, this graduation ceremony will allow them to have the evening with their family, their friends, to go to dinner, go celebrate that. So we're going to see how that works out, but it's just full of pride for them knowing that they've reached a goal.
I will say I'm really excited to join into the graduation this spring. I never walked, so I had to order regalia from the bookstore. But I actually have been going to the dental clinic, and so I've made like a relationship with my person that cleans my teeth, and they do such a great job. I have just been talking them up and saying, I mean, think about it. They're trying to get an A. They're really doing a good job. So I can't wait to see her walk across the stage and just share that with our students.
That brings up a good point with the dental clinic. Anybody from our community can come and get those teeth cleaned, and it helps those students not only in their career and what they're doing, but gets that relationship just like what you have.
Yes. And of course, none of our students walk their journey alone. So faculty are right there beside them every step of the way. And while we're on the subject of celebrating, I want to take a moment to spotlight two of our amazing faculty who are doing some really big things right now. I was able to catch a few minutes to record with these faculty last week, and let's take a listen.
I am instructor Terry Conrad, and I've been here at South Florida State College, just finishing up my first year. I've been in higher education since 1986. I've done various sorts of things, but systems admin, database admin, and I've taught as an adjunct professor for the last 15 years prior to coming down here to South Florida State College.
Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me. Now, the SWERV grant, that stands for Student Work Experiences in Remote and Virtualized Environments. And what that long title represents is essentially a process for helping us modernize our network systems technology program, correct?
That is correct. We have, as you know, in the IT field, things change, and we needed some new equipment to be able to teach what's going on out there in the workforce, and the SWERV grant has been a big part of that. And we have cutting edge stuff in our classrooms upstairs, and we're very excited about it.
Very nice. I'm gonna have to come up there and see that.
Yes, we have we're redoing our core courses. As I mentioned, in the IT field, things change, and that's just standard. We're redoing courses. And our goal here also, as part of that SWERV grant, is that students can come here for 2 years in the IT in our area and have been taught what they would have been at a 4-year college.
Oh, wow.
And go forward with that.
So why is virtualization such an important skill for today's students to learn?
Virtualization is the big in thing right now, and in the computing field, the in thing can come historically has come and gone, a lot of it quickly, but some things haven't. And the databases from the early 90s obviously haven't gone away. They're a little different now, but fundamentally still the same. Virtualization is going to be around for a long time. Smaller places of business, if you needed an outlay for a big a system, a big computer to be able to run that. With virtualization, companies or schools, universities, colleges can buy like a big piece of pie, essentially, and divvy that up as needed. And virtualization, like I said, for old guys that have been around the computing field for a long time, it's a little bit like magic. You can, if you have times of the year where you need more horsepower, you can add that. Pull it away at other times. It's the in thing right now, and it will be for a long time.
Okay, thank you. I was going to ask you to give that in layman's term, but I think you did a good job with that pie. Anything about pie, and I will pay attention.
Yeah.
All right. So what kinds of hands-on experiences or opportunities will the students gain through the SWERV grant, and maybe that they haven't been able to before?
Well, we're able with virtualization, and we've got a server dedicated up in my classroom up there. You know, we can talk about whatever topics we're talking about in that class today, okay? But then with our virtual server, we can spin up a Windows box, or we can spin up a Linux box or a Unix box, whatever, and students can log in. We've talked about it, and you know we've studied it. Now we can log on an actual machine and do it. Okay. And you know, it didn't say this in the book, you know, but these are the problems we need to be able to solve, and we get to do them. We get to learn them, and we get to do them hands-on.
So they're basically getting out in the field, but in the environment.
Exactly, and the other part of that is we're in our environment. You know, there's no danger of harming something or anything like that going sideways. So.
That's so important for building confident students, having an environment that is safe space where they can explore and learn. And speaking of safe learning spaces, that's really what our faculty provide our students here by going above and beyond and offering unique and specialized learning, which is one of the reasons I asked you to sit down with me today. So can we talk a little about what drives you to bring these opportunities to your students?
Well, it's exciting to me when you see students, you know, come in, they want to learn, and then they realize it's like, oh, wow, we can get started working in this field a lot sooner than we could. You know, 40 years ago, when I was their age, you needed really a 4-year degree in the computing field. And now, I mean, in the first term, the core classes that we'll teach in our first term of my program, it leads to a couple different certifications that you can actually get started with. You get through that, get those certifications, and there's companies out there that need that are looking for that. So we can get there quicker. And students realize that when they come in, and I think that it's just exciting to see because helping them along. I got a lot of help a long time ago, so that's kind of cool.
That's nice. And I mean, really, that's the point of these community or state colleges, is to get our students into the workforce and not make them go through 4 long years before they're getting there.
Yeah.
If a fellow faculty member is curious about applying for a grant or getting involved in innovation, what advice would you have for them?
Well, there's a lot of help. We have a lot of help here at South Florida State College, and there's people all over the campus and even outside of the campus that have been a great help to me.
Yeah. I would say that we do have a great grants department, even if it's just one.
Yeah, they do great work.
So in one sentence, what is the biggest thing you hope students walk away with after experiencing your classes and this project under the SWERB grant?
Well, I want them to know what a great opportunity it is, and they will. But they can come in here, get this education, get it quickly, and they can get to work with it. So it is a tremendous opportunity for them.
Get in, get the education, get to work. I think that's a pretty good one sentence.
All right. Yeah, you formed that up.
All right. So is there anything else that you would like to share with the SFSC community about this work or what's coming next? Or do you have any maybe pie in the sky goals, plans for the future?
Well, we've got some things that we want to be involved with, but I won't mention that. That's some stuff that we've just coming on. But we still have. I've got 2/3 of these courses in this that have been redone. I've got a few more to do with that. Everything you come in, you're going to be dealing with the latest and the greatest. And we've got the equipment up there where we can do the hands-on stuff too. So just a tremendous opportunity. We want the students to get on in here, grasp it.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and to talk about the important work that our faculty are doing here.
Thank you, Carly. I enjoyed it.
Wow, it sounds like Instructor Conrad has a few exciting projects on the horizon. I guess we will have to stay tuned. But for now, our students will continue to receive that important hands-on experience, helping them get in, get the education, and get to work. Next, I spoke with Dr. Mintoo Patel about undergraduate research.
Hi, my name is Mintoo Patel, and I'm an instructor in the Department of Biological Sciences. I teach microbiology, biology, and also biotechnology, and I'm a big promoter of the undergraduate research at SFSC.
Thank you for sitting down with us. So you were going to come tell us a little bit about the Florida Academy of Sciences UGR grant.
Yes, so for our UGR grant, FAS is mainly promoting sciences all over our state, and they have given us grants for past 2 years. And it is for the undergraduate research. Mainly we use to do the research in the biological sciences. All the mentors in biological sciences are sharing this resource, and therefore we can reach out to many students and offer them a variety of projects to do.
Earlier, we heard from Instructor Conrad on our SWERB grant that we have here, but now we're talking about undergraduate research. And one of the most powerful ways that our students can explore those real-world problems, right?
Yes, of course.
Can you share a little bit more about the Florida Academy of Sciences grant and how it supports the undergraduate research here at SFSC?
So Florida Academy of Sciences is mainly promoting the sciences across the board in the whole state, and they have given us grants for past 2 years, and we have used this grant for undergraduate research, and we've been using that in the biological sciences. It's shared by all of the mentors in our department, and therefore we can offer many of the variety of projects to many students.
That's great. Yeah, making the most bang for your buck.
Yes, definitely.
So what is your specific role in this initiative, and what drew you to supporting research or putting in this extra work?
Well, I've been a scientist all my life before I joined over here. And when I joined, I started teaching, but I always thought that, being a scientist, that was like my main thing that I knew, my main expertise. And I wanted to bring this expertise over here and share my passion for science with the students. So whenever I see all my students, I really want them to go that extra mile and learn to love science, right? It's not just about learning and taking the exams, but it's about loving the subject so much that you're going to become really good at it.
Yes.
So I want to bring that passion and pass on that passion to the students so they can do big things in their life as well.
Well, you answered that so eloquently. It really is important to share that passion with the students, let them know the why that they're there, and help them find a love and a passion.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So what do you think is most important for the students, especially at a 2-year college, to have these research opportunities?
So, when the students come over here, they spend their 2 years here, and the 2 years go by so fast. And then they go on to the big universities, and they only have 2 years over there. So when they move over there, they have missed out on the first 2 years at a bigger university. So when they are here and they're doing the research and they move forward to the universities, at that point, they would have accumulated all these other skills through the research, and that helps them become a competitive applicant at a bigger university and puts them at par with other students who are already there and utilizing the resources at the universities. So for example, if they want to join a research lab, they have already done research here, so it will be easier for them to join a bigger project over there.
Right. It's really about making the students more comfortable too. I feel like if you weren't involved in that, and then you were transferring to a bigger university, you might feel a little bit of a imposter syndrome, or like you're not really belonging there because you haven't been involved in that.
Right, because they are starting afresh in 2 years, and then the other students are already there, so they may not find their little footing in there.
Right.
But with this thing, they are already there, and I can give you a perfect example. We had a student who did research and who went to the conferences and everything, and in first year he went there and he was like presenting within 2 semesters. And he found a lab, he found a mentor, and he started working and had a project going on.
Great.
In less than a year. So
That is good. So we're making confident students.
very confident students, yes.
So what kind of student projects, you talked about a little bit about your experience with that student, but what kind of student projects have been taking shape through this work?
So, as I said earlier, our grant is supporting many of the mentors, and they have different projects going on. Professor O'Riordan, she recently joined our department as well, and she is working with a student on profiling the microbes that are present in Valencia oranges. So I also have different projects going on, and one of my project is on colorectal cancer, and we study biomarkers for early prediction of metastasis. We had a brilliant student, Angela Wang, who was over here, and she worked for 2-3 years on that project, and it was really beneficial for her. She presented that at science fairs, and she won many accolades over there, and she's at a big university right now and doing a lot more research than she was over here. So that passion was ignited here, and then she is just, making big things over there. We have another student working on corals. He's wanting to see what is the change in the corals with the changing temperatures. How does the climate affect that? I also have another project on the oral microbiome where we profile the oral microbes and how they relate to the systemic diseases in our body. And that was a project that was shared by many students, and then that led to a development of another big project, which is in collaboration with our dental clinic, where we go to the dental clinic and collect the oral samples, and we are trying to profile the microbiome, and we are trying to correlate that with the cardiovascular disease. How does the oral microbes affect the development of cardiovascular disease? So that is a new project that is going on right now, and it is possible only because of the funding that has been happening because of the FAS grants.
That's great.
I also have one more project-based class, which is the biotechnology class, and we co-teach with Dr. Hawker, Dr. Sanchez, and Dr. Velenovsky, and we have students doing DNA barcoding to identify species, and that is also leading to a lot more presentations afterwards too. So that's one of the good projects that has come on because of this grant as well.
Well, thank you for sharing all that with us. So what kind of feedback have you received from students who have participated in these projects? Is it engaging them more?
Yes, absolutely. So they have really loved their time. There were some students who were like iffy, how can I do research? Am I like really going to do research? And am I really capable of doing research? So those sort of students, and there were some students who were very quiet in nature. They wouldn't really talk much, and they started the project, and we can see the difference between, in the students in like less than a year. They go through the project, they go to the, conferences, they present over there, and they come out so confident afterwards. So you can see the personality change in them. They become more confident, and they are able to talk to their peers and other experts like professors and everyone. They're very confident and open about discussions too. Not only are they gaining the scientific inquiry skills, but they are also gaining all these additional presentation skills and discussion skills, communication.
Yeah.
So and these students, they are always, coming back to us even after they are gone outside. They always come back to us. They come visit us. They tell us like how it has helped them do the things that they are doing at other colleges as well. And they are also ready to help us. Many of my students are part of our Positive Alumni program that we have, where students are mentoring this junior students now. So the past students are mentoring the current students because they see such a value in this program that they want other students to do that too.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of magical.
It is.
We talked about students who are maybe not so sure that they can do the research, that imposter syndrome. So what would you say to a student who's never done research but is maybe curious about it or is still standoffish, and to get them involved?
I would say to such a student, go for it. It is definitely going to benefit you. You're never going to regret. And yes, anyone can do research. And we, as mentors, we are always available to you, and we are going to hold your hand and teach you everything, and you will be all okay in research, and you're going to love it. It's a no-brainer. They should be doing research. It gives them really big skills, and it creates also a community between the students and the teachers as well. If you're in a class, you don't really get to know the teacher very well. But if you are doing research, you have one-on-one communication with a mentor, so you get a lot more from your mentors too. They get to know you as well, and that leads to greater recommendations as well. Our UGR is open to anyone. So whoever wants to do research, we have so many mentors in our program. Everybody is welcome.
So what advice would you give to a fellow faculty that was thinking about maybe including some research in their programs or also going after grant opportunities?
Definitely. It's a really good thing. They should all do this. It is going to be really rewarding when you see your students, the impact on the student that it has. And when you see students change in real time in 1 or 2 semesters, that you really see how you have impacted them and how you can help them become more competitive in their own field going forward.
I would assume it's probably pretty rewarding for the faculty members
Very rewarding.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
nothing like it.
grading can get tiring, but seeing somebody's passion come alive
Yes.
and research and the things that you can learn from their research as well.
Definitely.
What is your biggest hope for students who take part in undergraduate research?
Yeah, I hope that they ignite a fire in themselves and they can spread their love and passion and they can become fearless leaders for us and they can make the world a better place for all of us.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for all the hard work that you and the other faculty put into making this come alive and be there for our students.
Thank you. We cannot do this without the students, and we cannot do this without the support of our administration as well. So thank you to everyone.
The main thing I took away from my conversation with Dr. Patel is her hope that the experiences we provide our students at SFSC will ignite a fire in them, helping them become fearless leaders ready to make a difference in whatever they are doing. It's really exciting to see all the ways our faculty aren't just teaching, they're innovating, they're leading, and they're creating brighter futures. And now that we have this beautiful Center for Innovative Teaching, we're ready to support faculty even more. Educational Technology team will be supporting the faculty development moving forward. President Hawkins, you said about 2 years ago is when you came here and you went through a bit of a career change yourself. And here you are trying something new. What would you say to a faculty member who's maybe curious but hesitant to try something new in their teaching?
Well, I would start and say that, people saw something in me, I guess, that I didn't. I was approached about this position and was just, shaking my head because I was like, why me? And between my family and, of course, some people in Tallahassee that just felt I would be the right fit. Once I started embracing it, and they told me just how wonderful South Florida State College was and the faculty here and the staff here. They were absolutely right. As far as being hesitant, I'm the big type of person that I like to use metaphors. And I always want to be swinging the bat. I don't want to be standing there. So you gotta take your swings at what you want. If you want to change your life, change your direction. And curious is just the start. Don't let anything keep you from moving forward in what you want to do. Talk to people about it, research it, do exactly what you did in your education to make sure it's the right path. But it's okay to go down a path and then find out it wasn't right for you. You tried it. Come back, refigure, move forward. I think that is a leader team here for the college. That's what we have to do. We're looking right now at how do we expand enrollment here. There's so many avenues to go down, how we can do that. But we can't do them all at once. You have ad campaigns, you have mailers, you have posters. We're talking to students, advising, getting into the high schools. All that has to come about. And it can be scary, of course, anytime you try something new. But if you don't try it, I think the feelings of fear in that are minor compared to just sitting back saying, I wish I would have. So I encourage anybody to try. You got to have big dreams, big goals. I don't think there's anything too big when it comes to education. It's the one thing that all of us have the opportunity to do. And education leads to your careers and opportunities. So the more you educate yourself, the better your outlook will be. And that's both personally and professionally. And this is all going to be part of my graduation speech coming up is lifetime learners. I want everybody to be a lifetime learner. I love education. And I think that's what they saw in me serving on all the education committees I did in my time in the Florida House, running an education foundation. And I say this often, and I've said it to many people, I like the feeling that at the end of the day, I know I've made a difference for people that I'll never probably know their name, never meet them face to face, but know we're helping launch their careers and what they can do. That's what our faculty should do. Being innovative is something I say all the time to them. Let's be innovative. And that doesn't necessarily involve just technology. It can be that personal engagement in what you do to get that struggling student or put them with somebody that is doing, well in the class. Maybe it's better they try to have a tutor of somebody, one of their peers, than it is to have a teacher or going to the office hours. So there's so many ways we can do it, but I have no doubt our faculty is making those connections.
So shameless plug here. If you would like to come and visit us in the Center for Innovative Teaching and just try one curious thing that you've wanted to try, just get in here and we will support you along the way. And while you were speaking, President Hawkins, I started thinking about our dual enrollment council. Is that what it was called a couple of weeks ago? Mm-hmm. I thought that was amazing. The way that we were able to bring in all of the dual enrollment program leaders at the different schools around. And I think it's so important that we grab those students. You talked about how you grew up fast, and I see our students now wanting to think about their futures before they ever have before. My daughter, she's in a collegiate program, and the way that she told me she could not do anything last weekend because she had to study. And she's 16 years old, and I'm like, I would have never said that at 16 years old. I'm so proud of her. So I think it's great that we are getting our students in as early as they are ready.
Yeah, the dual enrollment activity we did, bringing in the 3 school districts that we serve, we gave them information, but for me, it was more listening to them. I want to find out what are the roadblocks, what are the hurdles, what are the hills that they're facing that maybe we can help correct. So as much as we wanted them to have information about what we do, I wanted to mostly hear from them. That's why I walked around and talked to a lot of them. But it's different. You talk about your daughter at 16. I would tend to guess a high percentage of many of us here, we thought we wanted one career and started another. I mean, I started out for sports medicine. I knew I wouldn't be able to be an athlete, but wanted to stay around sports because I loved it so much. I ended up with law and political science. So big difference. And I think that's what it's all about. Your previous question about looking at opportunities, it's coming here, making this feel like college where you can explore. Maybe you take a class and you start doing really good in it and it triggers something that maybe that career you're looking at is something different. That's what we want to do here. We want to stimulate, and make sure that they reason, they think out, and they get to create their path. There was a prior saying here, your path, your way. That still fits. That doesn't go away. But I think it's so great to see them just engaging in their classes and then making the choices of where they want to go. And that's why our articulation agreements are so important here.
Yes. Thank you to our deans and supporting staff who work on those agreements and for everyone who helped pull together such an important day. So today's episode has really been about celebration, celebrating our educators, our students, and everything that makes this college a place where anything is possible. Any final words for our faculty and graduates as they celebrate this week?
Well, as it is Teachers Week and we have graduation, to come back to where we started, our faculty is the backbone of the college when it comes to what our goal is here, and that's to educate. But education doesn't just go to the students. I'm very interested in always making sure professional development is available to our faculty, that they have their tools they need. And that doesn't always necessarily mean technology. It could mean just classroom space, updating things. But we ask a lot of them, and the state asks a lot of the college system. They have probably done more in the last 2 to 3 years with things that weren't required before, that they never thought would be part of teaching. But we all have people we have to answer to. And Department of Education, Florida wants to remain number one. I keep telling the state they have to invest in us, though, to stay number one. We have a target on our back. All the other states are looking at us. How do you do this? They're starting to figure it out. So we have to continue to be innovative. We have to continue to think of ways that we can connect, but mainly getting students here in the Tri-County area that we serve, the Heartland, to make sure that they see the opportunities available so we can change their lives for the better. And if we can get the students, sometimes we find out that mom and dad also could come here, get a certificate, change their direction of what they're doing. That is generational changes. And that's what we can do here at South Florida State College. So very proud of everybody that works here, the faculty and the time they put in. My first convocation, it was based on, and the theme was making that connection with the student. Sometimes it's just one student. Sometimes it's a class. I've sat in on these classes. I've seen what our faculty does, and it's amazing how they engage with them. So I'm ready to celebrate this week. I know they're all probably ready to have some time off, but time off just allows you to regenerate your batteries to get ready to come back. But we all continue to learn, and the ways that we can do it and coming back, I think we're in a very good spot here. As I said, I think we're the best college in the Florida college system, and it's the people that work here that make it that way.
Thank you so much. I think that brings us to the end of our very first episode. A huge thank you to you, President Hawkins, for joining me today, and an even bigger thank you to our incredible faculty. If you're a faculty member listening, we hope you feel appreciated not just this week, but every day. And to our amazing graduates and our greater college community, thank you for making everything we do possible. If you've enjoyed today's message, please stay tuned for future episodes. And if you are interested in diving deeper into a specific topic, please reach out to me. We are always looking for our next story or guest.
Until next time, keep learning, keep leading, and remember, at SFSC, it's always possible.